Where, Farmington? Trying to figure out the rental ordinance that the government passed and is forcing upon us, back in November it was mainly aimed at people up north. And our ordinance says you cannot rent out your property. And we had a problem about 4 years ago over on Little Cedar Lake. They rented out their property and they had motorcycle gangs and everything right in a residential area. We took it to court, we fought it, and we finally won. It did cost us some money, but we got money back from them, $5,000 I think it was, and it cost us $12,000. But the judge backed our ordinances at that time, that nobody can rent their property out. Now, in November, along with the budget, somehow they squeezed through a ordinance that says you can rent, if you have if you have lake property, you can rent it out. And there's nothing the town can do about it. So we have to abide by state code, and right now we're working on a rental agreement to try and figure out what to charge of either the property owner or the renter, or somehow so we can keep track of who's renting out their properties, when and where and what time and for how long. And because it's so new, we haven't been able to get a good grip on it to find out what we can do as far as making out a permit and charging people for it. And that's what I was referring to at the beginning of the meeting. We are also going to be looking at this winter, looking at what we can do because of B1 zoning for business, and we have no businesses. It's all residential. What we can do about charging for getting some clarification on what can be done with these piers and stuff that people are running a business. I heard one fella put in a place, and a longer pier, he's got 6 pontoon boats on it, charging $2,000 a head. Of course, you know, with the economy and the older people, this helps pay for your taxes and everything, but it leads to overcrowding on the lakes. So we gotta try and figure out how we can kind of help the people on Big Cedar out. Little Cedar, Silver Lake doesn't have the problem. Little Cedar, I don't know if it does, it's very minor.
Very minor.
The biggest problem is over on Big Cedar Lake, and as everybody knows, you ride past Linden, you go to the south end of the lake, you go anywhere in the lake, and the piers are just jammed with boats. DNR will pass an ordinance. The DNR will not stand by the ordinance. They will not enforce it. So I guess the only recourse we have is to do something with the town and try and enforce it there. So that's where this rental agreement is taking us now. Go ahead.
What is now it's 2 boats per 50 feet are allowed? 2 piers, 2 boats, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. 1 pier, 2 boats, and you're allowed, I think, 2 jet skis.
Mm-hmm.
1 jet ski, I'm sorry.
2.
1 jet ski.
2.
Yes.
It's 2. I called the DNR
2?
to ask.
Yeah, it doesn't do any good to call them because they don't enforce it.
Well, they said the reason why they wouldn't enforce it is because it was grandfather lawed in 2012. And so anything that was existing at that point in 2012, they're allowed to keep it even if it was exorbitantly above what they had. And they have no way of proving what was in at that point in 2012 compared to what they have now. And that's why they won't enforce it. Because I talked to the head lady about zoning at the DNR in Wisconsin. That's what she told me.
Well, so basically, the only way we could get at them is because they're running a business out of their home.
Does that include sailboats? I mean,
I don't know exactly what the ruling is on it. But Big Cedar Lake, to my understanding, is...
The biggest problem is sailboats. They have little races, like 5 times a week. You can hardly get out of the it's a sailboat. Not the whole time.
Well, Big Cedar Lake is supposed to be working with us on this, and, excuse me, Dan?
Jim, I will let you know too, I talked to the regional warden today, and they actually are moving forward in looking into enforcing that. The local warden actually is going around the lake and taking video recording of all the shorelines. He's already done Big Cedar, and he's gathered information of the piers that are overcrowded, and he's forwarding that all on to the supervisors that handle that. So they are starting to take action.
Okay. Good.
Good.
Okay, moving on. Clayton Farm. I don't know who's for it.